My fiance made a shared calendar. That is how I found his second engagement party. I used to think I was just bad with time. I double booked myself constantly. I forgot birthdays, dentist appointments, oil changes. I was the friend who said, "I will be there," and then texted an hour later apologizing because I was still in sweatpants on the couch. My fiance Nathan was the opposite. He lived by his calendar, color-coded blocks for everything: work, gym, dinners, bill due dates, calls with his mother, even reminders like drink water and stretch. When we moved in together, he told me, half joking, that if an event was not in his calendar, it did not exist. I laughed. Then he missed our anniversary dinner because I had mentioned it 3 times but never sent him an invite. That was the night he suggested a shared calendar. "It will help us stay on the same page," he said, sitting at the dining table with his laptop open. That calm project manager voice he used at work. "No more miscommunications, no more forgotten dates. We are building a life, Riley. A system is not a bad thing." I am 28, I work in pediatric occupational therapy. My schedule is chaos. Cancellations, urgent calls, parents who show up 30 minutes late and expect me to magically stretch time. Nathan is 30, he works in tech project management. His schedule is ordered emails and meetings about meetings. We met 3 years ago at a mutual friend's board game night. He beat everyone at everything, but he was also patient and explained rules without being condescending. He wrote his number on a napkin and said, "If you ever want someone to help you make sense of your calendar, call me." At the time, that banter seemed charming, cute. Balance. His structure to my chaos, so when he suggested a shared calendar, I agreed. He set it up while we sat there. A new Google Calendar named Our Life. He invited me with a click. My phone buzzed. "You are now a co-owner of Calendar, Our Life." That should have been sweet. At the time it was. We started putting everything in there. Date nights, work trips, my on-call weekends, his deadlines, dinners with my parents, brunch with his mother. He added little recurring events like trash day and water plants and meal prep Sunday. I rolled my eyes but also felt weirdly taken care of. "You are not flaky," he told me the first time I cried over missing something important. "You just need systems. We can fix this." It felt like teamwork. Then we got engaged. He proposed on a hike, of course. He booked the park permit, checked the weather, bought the ring, and scheduled it all into his calendar weeks in advance. He actually turned his phone to show me afterwards. "See," he said, pointing. "Today. Ask Riley to marry me." I have had that on there for months. I remember thinking, who plans a proposal like a work task? Then I thought, that is just Nathan. He plans because he cares. He cried. I cried. We sent the obligatory ring photos to friends and family. His mother called and squealed in my ear. My parents hugged us and started talking about venues before we had even left their driveway. The next few months were a haze of vendors and Pinterest boards. I was still working full-time, picking up extra hours, trying to be excited when I was mostly exhausted. Nathan thrived. He made a new tab in his calendar for wedding stuff, with its own color. He added payment deadlines, tasting appointments, dress shopping days. He even created a separate shared folder for spreadsheets. "This is my love language," he joked, cells and tabs. I teased him for being a walking Excel file, but I also leaned into it. It felt safe to let someone else hold the details for a while. Everything started to crack the day he changed how the calendar looked. It was a small thing. He sat at the table one night, laptop open, and said, "I am going to start using multiple calendars instead of just one. It will help me see work and personal separately." He clicked through the settings and added a bunch of new ones. Work, personal, family, wedding, each with a different color. Our life stayed. But he unchecked it for a second while he reorganized, and I remember feeling a strange flicker in my chest when I watched events vanish from his screen and then reappear. It was like watching our life blink in and out of existence. He noticed me watching and smiled. "Do not worry," he said, "I am not deleting anything, just cleaning up." I told myself not to be dramatic. 2 weeks later, he invited me to dinner with his mother on a Tuesday night. I checked the shared calendar. The night was blank. Nothing for him, nothing for me. I added the dinner there so I would not forget. An hour later, he sent a message. "Hey, can you move dinner with my mom to Thursday in the calendar? Something came up with work." "Sure," I replied. Added it. Did not think much of it. A few days after that, my best friend Liv asked if I was free the following Saturday to help her look at apartments. I opened Our Life on my phone. The Saturday was clear. I told her, "Yes, no problem, I am free until 6. Later that night, Nathan glanced at my phone while I was holding it. His eyebrows rose. "You planned something Saturday," he said. "I thought we talked about doing the venue walkthrough that afternoon." I blinked. "It is not on the calendar," I said. "I thought we were touring on Sunday." "I put it under my wedding calendar by mistake," he said. "I can invite you." He tapped his phone and a second later an event popped up in my inbox. "Venue walkthrough with Riley." I accepted, texted Liv and apologized rescheduling. "It is fine," she said. "You are the bride. Bride trumps all." Except, I was not the bride in the way I thought. Not really. The weekend everything fell apart. It started with an email. I was at my desk at work finishing notes when a notification popped up. Invitation, Nathan and Lila engagement party. I almost ignored it, assuming spam. Then my brain registered my own email in the tie line. I opened it. It was a Google Calendar invite. Title: Nathan and Lila engagement party. Time: Saturday 7 o'clock to 10 p.m. Location: a nice restaurant downtown that I knew very well because Nathan and I had once splurged on an anniversary there. The message body said, hosted by the parents of Lila and Nathan. There was a guest list. His mother was on it, his Aunt Caroline, some names I did not recognize, the email address of Nathan, but not the one I knew. It was a variation, with his middle name. My heart did a strange stop-start thing. I checked the sender. It came from a calendar called Family Events that I had never seen before under an account that was clearly his, first name, last name, middle initial. But I only had access to his main emails, not this one. My hands were shaking when I clicked the link to view in browser. The calendar that opened was not our life. It was something else. A different shared calendar, apparently one where my email had accidentally been added to this single event. The header clearly said, Calendar, Klein, Family. He had made a family calendar. A family that did not include me. For a second, I told myself there had to be a reasonable explanation. A glitch. An old test event. A joke. My rational brain scrambled to find one. But under it, in the same color, I saw another event. Rehearsal dinner, Nathan and Lila. The date was 1 month after our wedding date. My wedding date. The event details said, dinner with the families of Nathan and Lila at zoomed out. In that calendar month, I could see more. Meet Lila parents, ring appointment with L brunch with Klein and Hart families. Everything was color-coded. Same way he had organized our life. My own name did not appear anywhere. I sat as still as I could, staring at the screen while waves of nausea rolled over me. Someone knocked on my office door. Dr. Patel, the pediatrician down the hall, poked his head in. Everything okay, Riley? He asked. I swallowed hard. Yes, I said. Just a lot of paperwork. He nodded and left. My hands moved on autopilot. I screenshotted the invite, the event, the calendar view, the guest list. I forwarded the email to my personal address, in case it vanished. Then I opened our life again, switching back to my own calendars. Our wedding was still there, same date, same venue, same rehearsal dinner, but at a different restaurant. I checked the calendars linked to my account. Our life, my work, my personal, wedding, no Klein family. I checked his shared calendars. I could see his work, his personal, our life and wedding, but not Klein family. He had made a whole separate calendar for a whole separate engagement, and somehow, while trying to invite someone else, he had typed my email instead of hers. I sat there, breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth like I taught my little patients before blood draws. It will not help to panic, I told myself. Get information. Then decide. Information first. I googled the restaurant name from the engagement party invite and the names on the guest list that I did not recognize. One of the emails had a full name attached, Lila Hart. Her mother, based on email naming, was Karen Hart. Her father, James Hart. A quick search on social media pulled up a photo of a woman in a white dress holding a champagne glass, captioned, "Could not be happier for my girl. So proud of you, Lila." Next image, a selfie of Lila and Nathan. Nathan, my fiance, arms around her, same smile he used when he posed with me. He was tagged. I clicked. His profile, the one I knew, had lots of photos of us. Hiking, brunch, birthdays, the usual. Her profile, where he was tagged, had fewer. A group photo from some charity run, a picture at his office party. One photo of them together, closer, clearly cropped from a larger group. The caption said, "Work fam." The comments below were hearts and bonds. I closed the app and stared at my computer desktop. The world did that tilt thing, the one on roller coasters right before a drop. I had a session starting in 5 minutes. Somehow, I led a 3-year-old through stacking blocks and blowing bubbles while my mind replayed the calendar in the background like a horror movie. After my last appointment, I texted Nathan. "How was your day?" I asked. "Busy," he said. "Back-to-back calls." "Why, what's up?" "Nothing," I wrote. "Just checking." He sent a heart. If he had sent anything else, it might have felt less like a lie. That night, he came home late. "Sorry," he said, hanging his keys up. "I had to stay late for a meeting." I watched him. His shirt was untucked. He smelled like coffee and the cologne he wore when he was trying to impress clients. "Did you eat?" I asked. "Yeah, grab something with the team," he said. "You eat?" I nodded. "Leftovers." He kissed my head and went to shower. I stared at his phone on the counter. I had never gone through it before, not once. The calendar invite sat in my inbox like a weight. I did not touch his phone. Instead, I went to bed and lay there awake until he came in. He laid down, arm heavy over my waist. "You are tense," he murmured. "Long day," I said. "We can take a weekend away soon," he said. "Just you and me. No friends, no parents, no wedding stuff." "Where?" I asked. He paused. "Maybe the cabin," he said. "Or that bed and breakfast your mom likes." He talked about my mom as if he cared deeply for her. She was going to be at a joint engagement party for him and someone else. My stomach twisted. I did not sleep much. The next day I took off work. I told my manager I had a family emergency. That was not fully a lie. Something in my future family was definitely dying. When Nathan left for work, I made coffee and opened my laptop. Our life blinked up. Busy blocks of color. My own life had become a series of overlapping events. I thought about confronting him immediately. But I knew him. He was not the type to break down crying and admit everything right away. He would minimize. He would say it was a mistake. He would say it was a work joke. He would say the family calendar was for something else. I needed more than screenshots if I wanted the truth in a way even he could not deny. So I did something I never thought I would do. I logged into his computer. He had given me his password before, for a movie, for something boring. I had never used it again. I typed it in and felt like I was crossing a line. His desktop background was a photo of us at the beach. My chest hurt. I opened his browser. His Gmail was already logged in. There, in the left sidebar, I saw the calendars linked to his account. Our life, work, personal, wedding. Klein family. He had hidden the Klein family calendar from my view, but not from his. I clicked it. The screen filled with events, not just the engagement party. 3 months earlier, there was a block labeled First Date L. Then a series of recurring dinners labeled Lila Date Night. There was a weekend trip labeled Cabin with L. The same cabin he had suggested to me for a weekend away. On our shared calendar, that weekend had a simple event. Nathan work trip. There was another event, dinner with hearts about wedding. It was 1 month after he proposed to me. The note said, talk about expectations, announcement timeline, church. Our own parents had not even met yet at that point. I scrolled further back. The first Klein family event was almost a year ago. Lila birthday dinner, it said. Meet Karen and James. Be charming. My hands were trembling so much I had to rest them in my lap for a minute. Then I checked his email. I searched for Lila. Dozens of messages. Some obviously work-related. She was on a project with him. That was how they met. Others were personal. There were forwarded restaurant menus, links to Airbnbs, shared Spotify playlists. There was one email thread with her parents. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Hart, he wrote, I am honored to ask for your blessing to propose to your daughter. My vision blurred. I blinked hard and read on. I love her very much, and I would like to spend my life making her as happy as she has made me, he wrote. I would like to discuss with you how best to plan an engagement that respects your family traditions. Their response was warmly formal. We would love to welcome you into the family, Nathan, they wrote. Let us plan a small engagement party once she has said yes. We can coordinate dates via the family calendar. There it was. Family. I searched for my own name. Most hits were wedding vendors, shared documents, our life events. One email stood out. Subject, engagement timeline. It was from Nathan to his mother. He had written, I know you are not thrilled about Riley, but please trust me, I am trying to make the smoothest transition possible. If all goes well, I will have both engagements staggered enough that no one feels blindsided. My breath caught. What? I reread it. His mother had replied, I raised you to be decisive. You cannot keep 2 women on a string forever. Pick the right one. The Harts are good people. They have expectations. Your father would have pushed you to choose money and stability over feelings. Money and stability. I looked around our tiny apartment. IKEA furniture, secondhand shelves, a couch that had a slight sag. The Harts, based on quick searches, were loaded. Their family photos were a catalog of lake houses and European trips. My parents lived 10 minutes from a strip mall and thought they were fancy because they had granite countertops. Nathan had always said he did not care about money, that he wanted a simple life. Apparently, that was true only when it came to me. His mother continued in the email, if you insist on going through with a wedding to Riley, you must end things with Lila first. I will not have you embarrass us with a scandal. The Harts will destroy us socially. He had replied, I know. I am trying. Riley would fall apart if I called off the wedding now. I need to figure out a way to shift without making myself the villain. I laughed out loud at that. The sound was sharp and ugly in the quiet apartment. Without making himself the villain, he wanted to break off one engagement and continue another and somehow emerge blameless. The more I read, the more clear the pattern became. He had proposed to me first. 2 months later, he had asked the Harts for their blessing. He had told his mother that he needed to be sure before he chose. I had been a trial run. Lila had been the upgrade. He was hoping to walk away from me with minimal fallout, slip seamlessly into his other engagement, and keep his reputation intact. I closed the laptop. There is a kind of shock where your body goes cold and heavy. Then there is the kind where you feel lit up from inside with something electric. This was the second. I paced our living room like a caged thing. Confronting him in private would give him exactly what he wanted. A smaller circle. Less exposure. He could spin it as cold feet, mutual decision, irreconcilable differences. He wanted to make sure he did not look like the villain. That line repeated in my head. I thought about my parents, who had already put deposits down on catering because they were so excited to help. I thought about my little cousins who had asked to be flower girls. I thought about my grandmother, who kept the engagement announcement clipped on her fridge. I thought about Lila. She had no idea her Instagram was full of captions like "Lucky Girl" and "Cannot Believe This Life." She tagged him in couple memes. She posted screenshots of texts where he said, "You are my future." He was telling both of us that. His mother knew, her parents did not. I decided that if he wanted to choreograph 2 lives, he could deal with both collapsing at the same time. That night, I made a new calendar event. Title: Joint Family Dinner. Date: 2 weeks from that Sunday. I invited my parents, his mother, his Aunt Caroline, and Nathan. In the description I wrote, "Wedding planning dinner. Final details." Then I went back to the Klein family calendar. My hands shook when I did it 2 months. I created a new event on their calendar for the same night. Title: Dinner with Hearts and Kleins. I set the time to match. In the description, I wrote, "Final engagement details and family introductions." I invited the Hearts. I invited Nathan, using the email address from their thread. I also invited his mother and Aunt Caroline. I did not invite myself. I watched as the little pop-up said, "Invites sent." If he checked either calendar, it would look like he had 2 different family dinners. I went back into my inbox and opened the accidental engagement party invite again. I clicked add to my calendar. Then I forwarded it to my parents with a short note. "I know this looks confusing," I wrote. "Please keep this to yourselves for now. Trust me, we will talk at the dinner." My mom called immediately. "What is this?" she said, voice sharp with anxiety. "Can you and Dad come to dinner that Sunday?" I asked. "And stay calm until then." She hesitated. "Riley. Please." I said, "It will make sense." My father got on the line. "We will be there," he said. "Do you need us to bring anything?" "Just yourselves," I said, "and maybe some popcorn." He did not laugh. Over the next 2 weeks, I behaved as normally as I could. I went to work. I went to tastings. I met my bridesmaids. Nathan continued to live inside his web of calendars, switching between them with ease, completely unaware that one event had stitched his separate lives together. He talked about our wedding like it was real. He also went out for mysterious dinners that appeared only on his work calendar. I knew exactly where he was. The Saturday before the dinner, he spent the afternoon at his mother's house. When he came home, he said, "Mom is finally warming up. She is annoying, but she does want us to be happy." I smiled and said, "That is good." Inside, something in me counted down. Sunday night arrived, my parents came early, my mom hugged me so hard it hurt, my dad gave me a look that said he was holding himself together, but it did not find her attention or writing about their mother's work today. We had ordered catering so there would be less chaos. Trays of food sat on the counter. The good dishes were out. Nathan showed up on time. He kissed my cheek and complimented my dress. "You look amazing," he said. "So do you," I replied. His mother and Aunt Caroline arrived next, bringing a dessert and a bottle of wine. His mother looked around the apartment with polite disapproval. "You know," she said, "you will need more space once the grandchildren come." I smiled. "We will see as I spend." She opened her mouth to ask what that meant. There was a knock on the door. Nathan frowned. "Are we expecting anyone else?" he asked. "Yes," I said. I opened the door. The Hearts stood there. Lila in a floral dress, her parents behind her, carrying a fancy gift bag with embossed tissue paper. Lila smiled when she saw me, then faltered, confusion flickering across her face. "Hi," she said slowly. "We might have the wrong place under engagement planning." My mother inhaled sharply behind me. Nathan made a sound like someone had punched the air out of his lungs. His mother went very still. "No," I said, stepping aside. "You have the right place. Come in." Lila stepped over the threshold, eyes darting from Nathan to me and back. "Nathan," she said, voice small. "What is going on?" Silence stretched. I gestured toward the table. "Since we are all here," I said, "why do we not sit down and compare notes?" No one moved for a second. Then my dad, bless him, took charge. "Please," he said, in his calm dad voice. Everyone sit, we should talk. We all sat at the long table, me at one end, Nathan at the other, our parents on either side. Lila next to her mother, directly across from me. I could see the exact moment she spotted the framed engagement photo of me and Nathan on the shelf behind him. Her face went white. Nathan started talking. "This is not what it looks like," he said. I laughed once. "Stop saying that," I said. "It is exactly what it looks like. You are engaged to two women at the same time." His mother put her hand to her mouth. Lila stared at him. "Engaged," she repeated. "Nathan, you told me you were not engaged yet. You said you were planning a proposal." His aunt murmured, "Dear God." I reached under my chair and pulled out the folder where I had printed the most damning emails and calendar screenshots. I did not throw them like in some dramatic movie. I slid them onto the table and opened them to the right page. "Why do we not let your own words explain?" I slid them onto the right page and My mother and father had the pages in front of them already, but the hearts did not. I turned the folder so they could read. Emails from Nathan to their family. Calendars with events for Nathan and Lila engagement party. His message to his mother about staggering engagements so no one felt blindsided. Lila read, eyes moving quickly, hand shaking. Her father leaned over her shoulder, jaw tightening with each line. Her mother sat back, face going from confusion to fury. Nathan reached for the papers. "You printed my emails," he said, as if that was the greatest crime in the room. "Yes," I said. "I also saw your calendars, both of them." He looked at his mother. "You told her to check my calendar," he accused. She snapped back. "Do not drag me into this. You are the one who set up a family schedule for your cheating." The room went very quiet. Lila looked up. "You told me she was an ex," she said, "that she was obsessed with you. That the wedding rumors were from your mother, not real." My stomach flipped. He had told me his ex was crazy. Now he had told her that I was the crazy ex. That was his pattern. Reuse the same story, swap names. I addressed the hearts directly. "I am sorry you had to find out this way," I said. "I did not know about you until he accidentally sent me an invite to your engagement party." Lila blinked. "That is why you invited us tonight," she said. "Yes," I said, "I thought you deserved to know. And I wanted everyone in the same room so there would be no version of the story where I am the jealous ex." Her father spoke then, voice low and dangerous. "Nathan," he said, "how long has this been going on?" Nathan swallowed. "It is complicated," he said. "I proposed to Riley first, then I met Lila, and I realized I had made a mistake. I just needed time to figure out how to fix it without hurting anyone more than necessary." "So, your solution was to hurt everyone?" my dad said quietly. Nathan glanced at me like he hoped I might bail him out. "I did not. You told your mom you did not want to be the villain," I said. "But you wrote your own script. This is the ending." His mother looked like she had aged 10 years in 10 minutes. "I am ashamed of you," she said quietly. "Your father would be too. Not because you chose wrong, but because you refused to choose at all." Lila let out a harsh laugh. "He did choose," she said. "He chose himself." She pushed her chair back and stood. "We are done," she said. "Do not contact me again." Her eyes met mine. "I am sorry you were dragged into this," she said. "For what it is worth, I had no idea." I believed her. The hurt on her face was too raw to be fake. "I am sorry too," I said. "Maybe we can one day laugh about this in some group therapy for people who almost married the same idiot." She let out a small broken laugh. Her parents stood as well. "We will be in touch about the deposits," her father said to Nathan, voice ice cold. "I expect every cent our daughter put toward this farce to be returned." Nathan opened his mouth. They walked out before he could speak. The door closed behind them with a final sounding click. Silence. My mother started crying quietly. My father put an arm around her. His mother stared at the table. Nathan looked at me. "Riley," he said. "Please. We can fix this. I picked you first. That has to count for something." I stared at him. "You did not pick," I said. "You put two people on hold while you decided which life looked better on a calendar." He shook his head. "You know I have trust issues," he said. "My ex ruined me. I panicked on my maintenance." "You did not need to be sure," I said. "You needed to be honest. Very different skills." He reached out. I pulled my hand away. "You wanted to do this without being the villain," I said. "You wanted to cancel on one woman, walk into a nicer family, and have everyone call it fate. That is not how life works. Actions have consequences." His mother found her voice. "Riley," she said, "please do not throw your future away because of a misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding," I repeatedly. She flinched. "I am sorry," she said quickly. "I know my son has behaved terribly, but you two have history. The Harts just have money and status. Maybe, if you two go to counseling, if he proves himself, you can find a way through this. People recover from affairs." My mom spoke then, voice firm. He did not just have an affair, she said. He planned 2 marriages at the same time. He made our daughter feel crazy for trusting him. That is not a simple mistake. My dad nodded. If Riley wants to forgive him someday, that is her decision, he said. But right now, she does not owe him anything. Nathan looked at me again. I am sorry, he said. I know I handled this badly. I know I hurt you. But we have put so much into this. The venue, the deposits, the plans. Can we at least talk about postponing instead of canceling? There it was. The sunk cost argument. We have come so far, we have spent so much, we cannot stop now. I took a breath. I would rather lose money than lose my self-respect, I said. I am canceling. I took off my ring, set it on the table between us. He stared at it like it was a bomb. Riley, he said. Be reasonable. I am being reasonable, I said. I am looking at evidence and making a decision. That is what reasonable looks like. You of all people should understand that. You love data. He stood suddenly, chair scraping. You will regret this, he said. You will never find someone who understands you like I do. I thought about his calendars, his comments about my scatterbrain, the way he had framed himself as my savior. Then I thought about the folder of printed proofs. I think I will take my chances, I said. He looked at his mother, then at my parents. No one came to his rescue. He left without another word. We heard the door slam, then the sound of his car starting. For a moment, no one moved. Then my mother came around the table and hugged me. I finally cried, really cried, shaking so hard my knees almost buckled. My father patted my back. You did the hard thing, he said softly. That is not easy. But one day you will be very glad you did not marry a man who treated you like a scheduling problem to be solved. His mother stayed a few minutes longer, tears falling silently. I am so sorry, she said. Not that it matters now, but I truly am. I should have shut this down the second he mentioned another engagement. You could have, I said quietly. I know, she replied. She left too. The lasagna sat untouched. The dessert his aunt had brought stayed in its box. The joint family dinner became the funeral of our almost future. In the weeks that followed, I canceled everything. The venue was understanding. They kept part of the deposit, returned the rest. The florist said, you would not believe how often this happens. My grandmother cried, but said she was proud of me for leaving instead of settling. Friends called and texted. Some said they had seen small red flags but did not want to interfere. That hurt more than I expected. I told my therapist that. Yes, I started therapy, not to rehash what Nathan did. There is only so many times you can say he had 2 calendars before it starts to sound like a bad joke. I went to figure out why I had ignored my gut for so long. Why I had brushed off early discomfort as my own insecurity instead of warning. I realized that I had liked the shared calendar because it made me feel anchored. It made me feel like someone was holding my life together. But there is a difference between support and control. There is a difference between someone helping you be your best self and someone making themselves the main character of your life story. Nathan loved systems more than he loved honesty. He believed that if he planned carefully enough, he could avoid consequences. The shared calendars were just an extension of that belief. He could assign obligations to different categories. Work, personal, family. Riley. Lila. Until one missent invite closed the distance between those categories. Lila and I exchanged a few messages after that night. She apologized again for the way she had judged me when he first described me as his crazy ex. I apologized for inviting her to a war zone of a dinner. We sent each other the occasional meme about men who think they are smarter than they are. We joked that maybe someday we would co-host a podcast called The Almost Brides where people could send in stories about dodged bullets. She blocked Nathan on everything. I did too. He tried to email me once, a long message about how he was in therapy and he had realized things and he hoped I was willing to meet in 6 months to see his progress. I do not know if his therapist is good. I hope so, for the sake of anyone who dates him next. I did not respond. Instead, I put a recurring event on my own calendar. Every year on the day that would have been our wedding, my phone buzzes with a simple reminder. You chose yourself. That is a calendar event I actually want to keep.